What better way to spend your time at home than to make some delicious food? That story on today's Daily Buzz.
Today's Business Journal Daily Buzz is brought to you by 717 Credit Union.
Do you love pierogi? I know I do. Stick around and we'll show you how to make them in this week's After Hours Report.
The After Hours Report is sponsored by Eastern Gateway Community College. With more than 35 programs, EGCC can help you with your career preparation and transfer plans.
Hey everyone, I'm Maggie Young and welcome back to the After Hours Report Quarantine Edition. I think what I could use more than anything this week is some comfort food. And where better to find that than in the Recipes of Youngstown cookbook. I was flipping through this one, which is the second edition in the series, looking for something that I could make with ingredients that I already have at my house. And I came across this recipe. It's Easy Pierogi Dough by Patty Gahagan Ruby, which only has 5 ingredients. I also have on hand some potatoes and cheese, and of course, butter and onions. So today I'm going to be whipping up some potato and cheese pierogies. The only problem is, I've never made them before. So I put in a call to Bobby Annette Allen, who is the founder of the Recipes of Youngstown Facebook page. She'll be helping me out today via cell phone videos.
Glad to hear today that you were going to make our pierogi recipe, the one from Patty Gahagan Ruby, her Easy Pierogi Dough.
Bobby says making pierogies can be intimidating, but they're actually not that hard to make. In fact, she and her husband make 10 to 15 dozen every time they make them. I'm going to keep things simple for my first try, and I'm just going to make 2 dozen. The first thing you need to do when making potato pierogies is the potatoes. As per Bobby's instructions, I did those last night, so they had time to cool off in the fridge. For 2 dozen pierogi, I used about 8 to 10 medium potatoes and boiled them for about 20 minutes or so. Once they were cooked, I peeled them and added about 2 tablespoons of butter before mashing them. So now that my potatoes have cooled, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of shredded cheddar. And what better way to mix it up than with your hands? Make sure to wash them first. According to Bobby, it's important to mix in your cheese or other ingredients when the potatoes are cold, because otherwise you'll end up with orange potatoes, or they could take on too much flavor from whatever else you're putting in there. So now that that's all mixed up, I'm going to roll it into balls so I can fill my pierogi dough. And now it's time to make the dough. So consulting Patty's Easy Pierogi Dough recipe, we'll need 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of melted butter, half a cup of milk, and 1 egg. We're gonna need to bring in the heavy machinery for this one. So here I brought in my stand mixer to help me out, but you don't need one of these. You can just use a spoon and a bowl. So first I'm going to add the salt to the flour, and then just give that a quick whisk. Then to my milk, I'm going to add my butter and my egg. And then we'll whisk those together. We'll pour our dry ingredients in the stand mixer and our wet ingredients. Patty's recipe says to just set this on low and walk away, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, so now it looks like my dough has come together, and now I'm just going to knead it a couple times, wrap it in plastic wrap, and then let it rest for 20 to 30 minutes. So now that our dough is feeling very well rested, we're gonna cut it in half and then we're gonna roll it out. Now Bobby will join us again to show us what comes next.
I have several sizes, but depending on what I'm doing, I usually use, I think that's a 3-inch cutter. You can roll it out thinner. The dough doesn't tend to push back on you.
So I don't have a 3-inch round cutter, but I do have this coffee mug that's roughly 3 inches across, so let's give it a try. Bobby says this is the easiest dough she's worked with, and it's very forgiving.
When Patty gave me this recipe, she became my best friend forever and ever. So we're gonna take this, wrap it back up. and let it sit to the side.
Done and done. So what's next, Bobby?
Take the ball and then stretch the dough over. Now, make sure you keep some flour on your fingers, because then you can push the filling in and make your pierogi. And you want to make sure that you don't have any kind of potato or filling or anything on these fingers that you're pinching with, because that will pull it apart.
All right, so let's see if I can make this work for me. Look at that, I think I'm getting the hang of this. So while I'm pinching these pierogies, let's learn a little bit more about Recipes of Youngstown. Bobby actually started the Facebook page when she was living in California in April 2013.
We started it because I was unable to get recipes for good food out in California that I grew up with. I started a Facebook page called Recipes of Youngstown, and I put 11 of my relatives on it and made them join. The next morning I woke up and I had 14 members, and I was so excited because 3 extra people had joined, and then I realized that all 11 of my relatives had quit, but 11 other people took their place. So we had a start.
From there, the Facebook page grew to over 800 members, and today it has over 13,000.
When I started Recipes of Youngstown was in April. I moved back in August. Got to meet some of those people that I had little network coffee classes with and exchanged a bunch of recipes. And one night when a bunch of us were sitting around drinking way too much wine, we decided we need to organize these recipes. So we wrote our first cookbook. This cookbook was done for Lanterman's Mill to save the water wheel. And we raised $82,000.
But one cookbook just wasn't enough.
After that, we moved on to the Mahoning Valley Historical Society. We underwrote their kitchen from the sales of this book for $50,000. And we've gone on to earn another, I think, $20,000 or more. We did do a third book because mainly we had to. We had too many recipes. This one was done to support a veteran scholarship at YSU. It's for veterans only, and it's just to give back a little something to the people that give so much for us. This one so far has raised $30,000. The purpose that we've kind of turned towards is teaching your kids to cook, teaching the kids that were never in the kitchen because they were busy watching TV while you made dinner. We want to get them in the kitchen with you.
And let me tell you, this would be a great activity for kids to help out with. And now that I am finished pinching, it's time to boil these suckers. Just drop them in a pot of boiling water, and once they're done cooking, they'll float to the top. And of course, what kind of pierogi would be complete without butter and onions? And voila, my very first batch of pierogis ever. Now the only thing left to do is taste them. So good. Now I only made 2 dozen of these, so I'm probably gonna eat them all tonight. But if you make them in bulk, then you can also freeze them. Just throw them into a Ziploc bag with some butter and onions to prevent them from sticking, and throw them in your freezer for whenever you need some more comfort food. If you'd like to get your own Recipes of Youngstown cookbooks, they're usually sold in the Tyler History Center and Arms Family Museum gift shops in Youngstown. But as of right now, both of those locations are closed. But you can still order them online by visiting the Mahoning Valley Historical Society website at mahoninghistory.org. Just click Support and Recipes of Youngstown at the top of the page. And until you get them, you can join the Recipes of Youngstown Facebook group.
The Recipes of Youngstown it's been a way for us to give back. And the people that are involved are some of the best cooks. And they were taught by some better cooks. And it's always been something special, and we hope to keep it going for a long time.
Thanks so much to Bobby for helping me make these delicious pierogis. I could not have done it without her. So be sure to visit businessjournaldaily.com and afterhoursyoungstown.com for all the latest news. For this week's After Hours Report Quarantine Edition, I'm Maggie Young.
The After Hours Report is sponsored by Eastern Gateway Community College. With more than 35 programs, EGCC can help you with your career preparation and transfer plans.
717 Credit Union. Business services designed to meet your daily needs. Commercial loans, business deposits, merchant and payroll services. 717 Credit Union. It's knowing you were treated right every time.